What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. The topics for you, ladies and gentlemen, today are on your screen if you're on YouTube, and they're just behind me on the green screen if you are on TikTok. We're going to speak about this Mbuemo deal, why it's dragging. It's been 5 weeks, believe it or not, since David Ornstein tweeted out about Mbuemo and that we're in for him and that we've put a bid in. 2 bids have gone in since, and we haven't really heard much since that. So we'll talk about Mbuemo. Manchester United have hired or looking to hire a new head of recruitment just under the umbrella of Christopher Vivell and Jason Wilcox. We've had an update on Hugo Ekitike from Fabrizio Romano. Plenty of Premier League clubs that are interested, according to him. And also Vlahovic, free agent. Should United go in for him? Should we make a move? I know my thoughts, but I want to get everyone else's thoughts on that. Because the striker market at the moment, people, it's dry, innit? It is dry as fuck. And if you're wondering why you're seeing this kind of floating mic moving around, it's because and this is why I extended the YouTube, by the way, to like 1:15, because just as I was about to go live, and I'm talking like the minute I'm about to go live, my podcast arm, which I'll show you now, this, basically, decided to snap off. Literally just before I went live. So, obviously, things like this always happen at the most inconvenient times, as always. So, yeah, that's that. There's a floating mic. It's going to be bobbing up and down, more so for people on YouTube because we have the ticker and everything below there. But let me know how you're all doing. Really, really nice to see so many of you in the chat, especially in TikTok as well. Let's talk about this Mbuemo deal because there's a couple of risky things here, a couple of things that are worrying me, and I'll explain why. So, Sky Sports Lyle, who, for all intents and purposes, I don't know who Lyle is. Sky Sports are a relatively credible outlet, so it's kind of like, okay. But they are reporting that Tottenham are interested in signing Yoane Wissa. If this was to go through, this would make it increasingly difficult for Manchester United to land Bryan Mbeumo, because you think Brentford have just lost their coach, who have kept them stable in the Premier League for years, in Thomas Frank. Incredible coach, which is one of the reasons why why Tottenham wanted him. They're about to lose Mbuemo, who's got 30 goal involvements for him last season. Him and Wissa was incredible. If you lose Wissa as well, you're talking 40 goals at your team and your manager, which is just like, I mean, that is chaotic in it. No club wants that. Not to mention Norgard leaving the captain in the midfield, who's super important for them. I mean, I don't even think they won a game when he wasn't playing. That's how important he was. So he's gone out of the midfield, the nucleus, the spine. And also they lost Flecken as well. Obviously, Raya got poached by Arsenal. They replaced him with Flecken, and now Flecken's gone to Germany as well. So it's panic signs for Brentford. If they go and sign Wissa to Tottenham, then that could be panic signs for us in terms of maybe pivoting to another target, maybe going to a Semenyo or an Eze or someone like that. I'm not entirely sure. But also, when you scope the market now as well, look at all the deals that are ongoing at the moment, right? So you've got Madueke to Chelsea, from Chelsea to Arsenal, should I say. That's reported for around £50 million. I think Arsenal put a fee in for that, and it's been rejected. You've got Mohamed Kudus, who's, I think a fee has been agreed with West Ham. Correct me if I'm wrong, people, anyone in the chat. I think that's £55 million. Elanga has just gone to Newcastle from Nottingham Forest, £55 million. João Pedro went from Brighton to Chelsea for £60 million, and Cunha's just moved to Man United for £62 million. So, with that in mind, let's say you're speaking about this as a business. Anyone who, no matter who you support, I know the majority of people in the YouTube will support Manchester United, and I know people on TikTok, there's a wide range of people, Chelsea, Newcastle fans, whatever it is, right? So just think about this in a business sense. Do Brentford have the right to demand 70 million quid? Because all them players I've just mentioned that are going for 50 to 60, I would argue I don't know if you could say out and out he's a better player than them all. He's certainly up there. But he's definitely had a better season than the majority of them. 20 goals and 7 assists is it, I think Mbuemo got. So that is right up there. And he's only 25, 26 years old. He's got 4 years plus in the Premier League, so super experienced. Like, that is a premium price that you're paying. So maybe this is why it's stalling so much. Maybe this is why it's dragging on, because 5 weeks for a deal is insane. Can I also just add on to that as well, right? What is going on with this market? Like, players that are leaving and joining, and it's just weird. Really, 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 really weird. And I feel like my internal, and this is not off anyone that I've spoken to or any journalist or any kind of thing, just a gut feeling that I have with this Mbuemo deal at the minute is kind of like, I'm a little bit worried about it. I'm a little bit worried. But let's see what you people think. And then I'll go through this new head of recruitment role and explain what it is and stuff. Evening, Nick. The show must go on, mate. That's from James McGrogan. Charlie Malman saying, Lord Sebco, who is this guy? I do not know much about Manchester. Is he a local? Is he a good guy? Bad guy? Is he evil? Lord Sebco does sound a bit like a villain, doesn't he? Like a Doctor Doom. Lord Sebco is in that kind of similar bracket. I believe he is an architect who's done plenty of building. I don't know much about architects. I don't know, but he's a well-renowned architect who's done buildings in Manchester, from what I understand, and he's done loads. I'm sure more people will know in the chat, but that's as far as my extent of knowledge of Lord Sebco goes. Anyway, I think Spurs actually bid 40 for Wissa, but offer got rejected. Who was it? Was it Nottingham Forest who bid? It was in January, and they bid like 29 million or something for Wissa. Like, hang on a minute, lads. This guy's like bagging 18 goals in the Premier League and you're offering 29 million. Are you kidding me? Trust me, any insiders telling me the Mbuemo deal is done. My insiders are telling me the Mbuemo deal. I don't know who your insiders are, but they must have good information. When it's here we go, don't thank me, lads. We won't. Each to their own. Each to their own. What do we think in TikTok, people? Do you think this Mbuemo deal will happen? Do you rate him as a player? How much should we move? Like, what's the maximum capacity that you should move to? Are we talking 60s, 65, 70s? Would some people pay 75? Let me know. Look, this all revolves around recruitment. And recruitment at Manchester United over the past 10 years, as every Tom, Dick and Harry will know, has been awful. It's been abysmal, below par by quite a lot. David Ornstein reported before that Manchester United are appointing a head of senior recruitment. Man United working with consultant Sportsology on key hire to revamp department, plus reports of director of recruitment to Christopher Vivell, new regional heads of emergent talent also being hired. That didn't make sense when I read it out. I hope it made sense to you a lot. But basically, in a nutshell, just to kind of explain this article and what it goes through, we are seeing a major overhaul and modernisation of the scouting department. This is what's happening here. It seems like there is still kind of an emphasis on both human scouting and data analysis. United need to catch up. There's no two ways about it. This has been spoken about extensively. In the article as well, it explains how we recently hired Michael Sanosse, I think it's how you pronounce it. I think he's Formula, part of the Mercedes F1 team. He was a director of data, so that's obviously showing that we're moving to that kind of data-supported recruitment. And some of the teams in the Premier League, like Liverpool now, Chelsea, Brighton, all do it fantastically well. Speaking of Chelsea, this geezer used to be at Chelsea, Christopher Vivell. But yeah, this is the kind of the way that we're moving, and that for me can only be a good thing. I mentioned that we are also working with Sportsology. For anyone who doesn't know what Sportsology is, it is a sports intelligence consultancy. If I can get my words out. You're in front of camera, Nick. Come on. They've got clients in the NFL like the 49ers, the Eagles, the Rams, and I think MLS clubs like Inter Miami and FC Cincinnati. So these are the kind of people that we're going for. The new person who I don't know who it'll be, but the new person who's going to be in charge will basically report to Christopher Vivell, who is the permanent director of recruitment. I think I'm getting this right. And then Vivell will report to Jason Wilcox, who, of course, is now the director of football. And that is how the structure is going to align. We also know as well that the number of scouts at Manchester United has been reduced dramatically. So it's been from 140, which was 2 years ago, to 80 at the minute. And there's further reductions expected on top of that as well. So a lot of streamlining, getting the experts in the right areas, something that should have been done fucking years ago, if you will allow me to swear. I think it's mad that it's been left like a dusty warehouse. A club the size of Manchester United. Now, I'm not saying there hasn't been changes during the Ed Woodward, Arnold era period. Of course, there would have been tweaks, people moving on, people bringing in. But just this at the minute, and this is the one thing that I'm with INEOS on. So I have my opinions on INEOS. Me and Sam and Chivy all have very different views. People will know what I think. But with INEOS, I think that side of things, they seem to be getting the head around and they seem to be getting it right. Does it worry me that they're going for, head of recruitment during a transfer window? That would worry me a little bit, because it's kind of like, okay, well, why was this not position addressed a few months ago? Why are we doing it in the midst of a busy transfer window? I say busy for other teams. Why are we doing it right now? Why have we only just got round to it? Was it on like a list and Jim's like, oh, don't forget that, like it's your milk or bread at the shop? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, that is what's happening, basically. And that I will credit INEOS with that, 100%. Too many people along for the ride, stealing a living. Damn right, is need reducing. Yeah, there seems to be two sides to this argument, doesn't it? A lot of people are like, it's never nice when someone's losing the job. People shouldn't be getting sacked. And then there's the other flip side of it where you look at it and you're like, well, if you look at it as a comparison to other clubs, we had hugely bloated kind of workforce in loads of departments. So yes, the sackings are bad, but when you actually look at the numbers and you crunch the numbers, we now have a similar level to everyone else's kind of clubs. And then also, obviously, is more cost effective. So if you look at it from a pure kind of business acumen, then it's kind of like, yeah, you agree with it. From a human side, not so much. People might kind of disagree. Is Mbuemo really the answer to your attacking issues? Listen, this might be strong, and people may disagree with this, but I don't think there is a player on the market right now who fits that role for Amorim's system better than Bryan Mbeumo. Bryan Mbeumo for Brentford has played, and anyone who's done research about Thomas Frank knows how flexible and how much of a chameleon he is of a manager. He can pivot, rotate, stretch, like Graham Potter did with Bryan, for example, many different shapes. And in order to play that kind of style, you need players also who are extremely versatile, and Mbuemo is one of them. He could play as a second striker, he could play as a 10, he could play as a winger, he could play loads of positions, probably as a 9 as well, he can play. So, one, you've got extreme flexibility and versatility, which is definitely demanded in Ruben Amorim's system. Two, you have someone who carries the ball really, really well and is direct and is good on both feet and is a really efficient shooter. Another tick in the box. Three, you've got someone who crosses the ball quite a lot, takes set pieces for Brentford. I think he takes corners. Technically, really, really sound, really good. He's rapid. He can play on the counter attack. He can hold the ball. For me, to be honest, I don't think there's a better option out there. Which is why it's kind of hard for me to think like, okay, if this deal's going to take so long where we're getting to a point where pre-season starts, which starts in around a week. I think we're playing Stockholm, don't we, against Leeds or wherever it is. It gets to that point where it's like, I really want him as a player, but if it's dragging on and it's going to end up going into August or wherever we're at, because it's been 5 weeks so far, then how far do you go with it until you go, do you know what I'm saying? And then who are they going to pivot to if they don't do that? Because I think Arsenal are going to end up getting Eberiche Eze, and he was kind of plan B, plan C from what I've read. They are the alternate targets. That's what journalists like Rob Dawson and a few other people was speaking about. Semenyo is another one as well who we've been linked with, but I think Sam mentioned the other day that he's just signed a new deal. So how much that's going to be extremely pricey. He was asking for around 60 before that, so I don't see that happening. And then you really, again, similar to the number 9 position, you're clutching at straws at who you're going to bring in. Who's going to be that number 9? Who are you going to bring in if Mbuemo? So I think this is why, this is why Man United are kind of using it so long. Do you know what I mean? Not using it so long, but why they're staying on this deal and negotiating. Have you been on Stretford Paddock? I have, yes, Harrison, whoever was asking that. I've been on a few times, know Jay very, very well. Jay's been on our channel loads of times as well. Yeah, all the lads really, really sound there. And yeah, been on there before. Serious question, would you take Vardy, Calvert-Lewin or Wilson on a free? No. This Vardy, Calvert-Lewin, honestly, internally, it makes me sick a little bit. Now, the football purist might turn around and say, well, actually, Dominic Calvert-Lewin on his day or Jamie Vardy on its day. Jamie Vardy's 37. He's lost a yard of pace. He's moved on from Leicester. Why the fuck would Man United sign Jamie Vardy? You know, maybe they're looking for experience as a secondary role to bring him in. If they do that towards the end of the window, like they did with Amrabat or Bayern or something like that, fine. If you want to do that for a bit of depth, which you don't really need depth, by the way, because we're not in European competitions. So, them kind of links, I don't know. If they try bringing in Calvert-Lewin and Vardy or something as our main striker, which I don't think they'll do. I don't think they've got the bollocks to do that. But if they try doing that, and you're like, okay, for next season, everyone, it's going to be Rasmus Højlund and Jamie Vardy as our strikers going forward. And you're going to go, are you fucking joking? We finished 15th right? On 40 points. We might have just made 40 points or just got over that. Okay, the worst season ever. We need to bring in top quality premium Premier League players like Cunha, like Mbuemo. You know, I don't know who else you would go to, but strikers-wise, I think the Lap was a good option. I'm not saying he would have done well at Manchester United, but players like that, that's what we need straight away. We don't need... do you think where we're going to go from 15th if we sign a 37-year-old Jamie Vardy? You know, Liverpool have just won the league, and I know I repeat myself quite a lot on this, but I think it's quite important. Liverpool have just won the league. They've signed Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, and Gyokeres, and they've already got an unbelievable squad. Make what you want, whatever about it, saying that, oh, well, you know, they didn't spend any money last season, or blah, 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 or whatever. That's fine. People have their own opinion. Man City signed Cherke, Aït-Nouri, and Reinders within 2 weeks, I think it was. Something like that. Bang. 50 million, 25 million, 45 million. Done. And that's how clubs should move. We're spending 5 weeks on Mbuemo. It's kind of like, what the fuck are we doing, lads? We've got the season will kick off soon before you know it. We start pre-season in a week or something. It's mad. Someone going on about Jonathan David in the chat as well. Just not for me. Not for me. Whilst we're on the conversation, I think he's gone Juventus, right? Jonathan David. Pretty sure. Whilst we're on the conversation of number 9, Ekitike, Fabrizio Romano came out with an update on this recently. Hugo Ekitike keeps attracting interest from the Premier League with Newcastle keen on the striker. That confuses me. Newcastle, you've got Isaac. Why are you going to spend 78 million on Ekitike? Make it make sense. No, unless Isaac's moving on, and that's, I don't know. More Premier League clubs remain also informed on the situation after Liverpool and Chelsea calls in June. Hilal and Al Qadsiah called in recent weeks, but his priority is Europe. So Ekitike wants to stay in Europe. Can I just say, by the way, Chelsea called in June. Chelsea have Nicholas Jackson. They have João Pedro, who started up top for him last night, I think. Scored 2 goals for him, 2 really good goals as well. They've bought Liam Delap, who people are questioning where's he going to play. Jackson's the main number 9. Is he going to get enough game time and blah, blah, blah. They have other ones like Nkunku and stuff. Like, what are they doing? Is there a new league that we don't know about where there is a demand to play another 30, 20 games or something? Because it seems like Chelsea are bulking their squad out more than anything. And you know what as well? I would love to speak to a Chelsea fan about this. If there are any Chelsea fans in TikTok or YouTube watching right now, jump on the show with us for a chat. I want to know what craziness is going down there and if there is a method to the madness. Because it seems crazy, the players that they're going in for. They've called for Ekitike. For what? Yeah, we'll give you 70 million. He's going to sit on the bench for a bit and then we'll sell it. Like, I don't get what they're doing. It seems utter chaos to me over at Chelsea, but people might tell me otherwise. Thank you for all the likes. Keep smashing a like on the TikTok. Bring more people in. If you are on YouTube as well and you have a second, smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. How many subs are we on, people? Let's have a look. 18,327 subscribers on Real Reds Talk. If you are on TikTok, head over to the YouTube, join the community. We are live every single day for the most part. I mean, in the past 3 years, we've probably missed, I don't know, 5-6 days. We try to be consistent as much as we can, but life gets at us sometimes. And also, whilst I'm on the conversation of life, before we move on to the Vlahovic story, I was going to do this at the end. We are raising money at the moment for my Auntie Carol's funeral. She passed away to cancer a couple of days ago. She got diagnosed literally a couple of weeks ago, and it just, like that, gone. Got progressively worse. Died a couple of days ago. And as anyone will know, if they've had a family member pass, funerals are very expensive. You're talking, I don't know, like $4.5 grand, $5 grand to kind of piece it all together. Obviously, the family are going to chuck some money together, but my sister has set up a GoFundMe page, which I think I'll put the link in the, I think the link's in the description actually. So if you can click that link, the link for TikTok, if you can donate anything or even just share the link. Like I don't want to mind the people for donations because I get life is very expensive. But if you can just share the link, if you've got, you know, a big social media or even a small social media profile, the link is in the bio on TikTok. It's in our Instagram. It's all over socials and you would have seen it. I get some people can't donate and they can't no, it's absolutely fine. I understand it, but you just kind of prompted a thought there. So, yeah, anyone who can do that, really, really appreciate it. Now, I'll go to the comments and then I'll finish on this Vlahovic story. Charlie Malman saying, Harley Ernston James has signed for Manchester United. Here we go. Correct me if I'm wrong, is that the centre-back from Southampton? I think, who we brought in, the young kid. Seems really promising. If so, fantastic news. Moondog saying, I think Evan Ferguson would suit United. He has so much potential and needs a team that plays to his strengths. Daniel says it's a disgrace being linked to these low-budget strikers. I can't believe it. Chelsea want 9 attackers, I read somewhere. That is mad. It's the reason why Kudus is going to Tottenham. It's crazy, isn't it? Absolutely crazy. Very good pages on Instagram and TikTok. Keep up the good work, lads. Thank you very much, Joinery. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate everyone. Anyone who's interacting, conversating. This is why we do these lives every single day, because I enjoy it, man. I enjoy having a conversation. It's just like having a conversation about football, isn't it? Like at the pub. This last story. Dusan Vlahovic, people, is apparently going to be a free agent. I'm not sure about the specific details, what's ongoing at Juventus or whatever. I think they're going to cut his contract. I think he's on quite a bit of money as well, to be fair, but I think he wants to leave Juventus. Now, if you look at Vlahovic's... Sorry, I've got one hand trying to do this. Vlahovic's stats, just purely looking at him, one might say, he might be worth a punt, right? So if you go to this season, for example... 17 goals and 5 assists, right? In the season that's just gone. If you go to the season before it, 18 goals, 3 assists. Consistency. That's what we like, people, in it. Nice consistency. The year before that, 14 goals, 4 assists. So that's the ballpark that you're looking at in terms of numbers. However, if you actually watch him play football, which I have gone out of my way and taken time to watch him as a player, because I always heard his name being mentioned, and I always heard like, oh, he's a big link with him, and why has he never moved to a big club? Why has the club never take a punt on him? That should be one of the warning signs straight off the bat. Okay. Number 2, watching him as a player, I don't rate him. I think there's clunkiness there. I think there's similar traits to Rasmus Højlund there. I don't know. I think he's more of a big name than he is an actual player. And again, people are free to disagree with him there. I don't like him. And if we went for him, if he was a free agent and we signed him, similar to what I was saying before as a secondary striker, and Rasmus goes, then it is what it is. If we're bringing him in as a main striker, any of these names that we're discussing, Calvert-Lewin, Jamie Vardy, Vlahovic, fucking whoever else it is, get it gone. The only way I'm going to sit down as a fan and have a conversation about a striker and get to the table is Ollie Watkins. All right, let's have a conversation. Let's see how much this is going to cost, because he's Premier League proven and he's done it for the past 4 or 5 years consistently. So I think Watkins and Mbuemo and Cunha as a front three. Okay, we can have a conversation. Ekitike and Sesko, for me, they're definitely better players than Rasmus Højlund, but you then have that young angle with them again, where it's like, is this going to be a risk? Is it going to take time to develop? That would worry me also. So, yeah, the striker market at the minute, man. It's interesting, isn't it? All Plan D strikers, spot on. Hugo Ekitike, asked for a question on him. Hugo Ekitike is a good player, but he's very raw. When I watch him, he's like really lanky, but his ability on the ball and his speed is super impressive. And he had a really, really good season for Frankfurt last year. However, if you go back before that, the season before, you're talking like 4 goals, 2 assists, 3 goals. He's had one really good season. And that's why I probably believe that's why Frankfurt want to cash in so much. Because like, boom, we can get 70, the market at the minute, the way it's going, we can get 70 to 80 million quid. And I think it would be a big risk, especially after just signing Rasmus Højlund for 70 million quid and it going to shit. So that's where I'd worry. Isaac to Liverpool soon. Fucking God, I hope not. It's the reason why Kudus is going to Tottenham. Have you read Iqbal's interview about Ten Hag? I've not, but I'll definitely check it out. If you've got any quotes, bang them in the chat. Controversial question. Let's say you find a gem in a lower league and he blows up. Do you think you can keep them, or would you turn into a feeder club for other European clubs who are comfortable as champions? No, United won't be a feeder club. No chance. I think the model that we're looking at the minute is we can bring through young players, and if we don't, they can still be relatively successful. And if they are, then you can still make money and look at them more as business commodities. Sorry. Now, that's not always the best way to think about it. But, for example, we bought Aiden Heaven for £1 million, right? You could probably sell him right now, and I'm not even kidding, for 10, 15 million. Easy. Because he's shown what he's about. He's shown that he's got quality. Like, that's 10 times your money straight away off the bat. So signings like that, he might not work out, but you can sell them at the peak, and it goes down as profit, obviously. Huge green bars in the profit line. So United will never be a feeder club, but if there's an opportunity, like Garnacho at the moment, he doesn't suit the system. He obviously wants to leave. I want him to leave. A lot of fans want him to go. We bought him for, I think it was around £500,000. I think, from when I last read, £500,000. You sell him for 50, 60 million now, and with how important it is with PSR at the minute, I mean, you've got a huge green shoot there to work with. So that's why there's so much emphasis at the minute on PSR and selling players and blah, blah, blah. Garnacho, I'm absolutely fine with if he goes. Kobe Mainoo, on the other hand, I'm interested to see how he gets on for the rest of the season. Well, that was a good question, that, to be fair. Can you believe we lost the opportunity to sign Osman to a Turkish club? Another one where I get where you're coming from, 100%, but Osman wants astronomical wages. Osman wants £350,000 a week. So if you're signing him, I don't know what they've agreed. I don't know what the fee is, what they've agreed with Napoli. Well, I think Napoli wanted around £60-65 million, right? So if Galatasaray's agreed to that, or somewhere around that kind of ballpark figure, and Osman's on 350k a week, you are talking about £1.4 million a month. 15 million a year, call it, there or thereabouts. Maybe a little bit more. That's a huge package to commit. Pause. But £15 million a year, let's say he gets a 5-year contract, that's 75 million quid, plus the 70 million quid that you're paying on top of it. Like, it's a lot of money. And in fairness, me and Sam checked this the other day, that Turkey have a lot of wealthy owners in there, and this is how, and they don't pay big transfer fees, but they can afford big wages because of sponsorships or something. So yeah, Turkey are cooking at the minute, and if they can attract someone like Victor Osimhen, then fair play to him. But I think out of all the options that we got linked with, I think Victor Osimhen was the number one, top of the line. I would have picked Osimhen over Gyokeres, Sesko, Ekitike, any of them. Numero one, because I think he's a bully as a striker. I think he can hold his own against physical centre-backs. He's quick. He's a transitional player. He's a threat in the box. Aerially, he's really, really good. He's a solid finisher. So Osimhen would have been perfect for me. But again, we're in dreamland. And the longer we leave it as well, by the way, I'm telling you now, I think we're going to start this season with Xerxes and Mbuemo and Cunha as your front three. And they might cook. You might see a similar situation to what happened with Firmino and Mane and all these kind of Firmino, Mane, and Salah, sorry. That might work. You don't know. I mean, fucking hell, Liverpool won the league last season, and he was playing with, like, Luis Diaz up top. So it can work. But I think we're going to start the season like that. I think the number 9 is going to drag on for a bit, because we've not even got the Mbuemo deal over the line yet. Pre-season starts soon. The actual season starts in around a month, the Premier League, when we play Arsenal. So it's going to be interesting, isn't it, when we play against Arsenal on the opening day, and they've got Gyokeres up top, bringing in Madueke, who signed Zubimendi for the midfield. Like, yeah, madness. We are gonna get left behind if we don't do business. You know what I'm saying? Left behind. Thank you for the gifts. Anyone who's done that, any likes on the videos, genuinely appreciated. I mentioned mid-show before, and just to kind of finish with, we are raising money for my Auntie Carol, who passed away to cancer, unfortunately, a couple of days ago. There's a GoFundMe page set up on our socials. Anyone who can donate or share would genuinely really, really appreciate it. There's a target on there. We're doing well at the minute. I think it's raised close to £1,000 in the past kind of, I don't know, say 30 to 40 hours when we set it up. So all the links are in the bios for anyone who can. Even if you just share it, it would mean more than you know. So, yeah, we will go live if anything else breaks. Just double checking the news now to see if there's anything up there. Just the Harley Emsden James has signed his contract with Man United. That's fine. Nothing at the minute, but knowing the way things work and how transfers work, something could pop off. So please do turn on that notification bell on YouTube, so if we do go live, you won't miss it. And anyone on TikTok, if you're not subscribed to our channel, please do. We are on 18,329 subs, so close to 20k. You guys can help us make it happen. I will speak to you guys in the next one if anything pops